Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful day. It is another Monday. Absolutely hate Mondays. So a little follow-up to my first video, which was an introduction to me. This video, I think I'm just gonna give a little bit of a backstory on myself, and then yeah, we'll go from there. I know in the next video after this one, I'm gonna have a Q&A. So everybody comment some questions and answers that you guys want to hear. And anything's welcome within reason. But so, like I said before, I'm gonna kind of tell a little bit about myself, and then yeah. So I'm still trying to get a handle of this YouTube thing, so bear with me, as bad as this looks and sounds. So bear with me. So I am 19 years old. I am from Middletown, Ohio. I currently live in Brookville, Indiana with my amazing boyfriend. His name is Bradley, and he's 22 years old. I've been living out here for probably about a year and a half. No, it's been about a year because we've been together for a year and a half. So yes. So let's see. I don't know, I hate talking about myself, but like, I have like a really cool story about my dad. I guess I'll just kind of go through that real quick, and then, I'll fill in some missing pieces that I forgot. I grew up from the time I was newborn to probably about 3 years old with just my mom. And I have an older brother. He is 11 and a half years older than me. So when I was born, obviously, he was 11 and a half. So my mom was a single mom with him his whole life, and then with me up until I was 3 years old, and then she met my stepdad and married my stepdad. Well, in my eyes, I had never ever had a different dad than him. And I was so young to remember it that I thought he was there my whole life. So I kind of thought of him as my real father. Didn't even know what a stepdad, biological dad meant. So I didn't question anything. My mom didn't tell me, so, it was just kind of on me to figure that out. And I had a rough teenage years, not because of, circumstances. Well, I would say that it was because of circumstances, but it was more because of, I was going through the rebellious stage, and I was very sheltered. I was a very sheltered kid. But, so, when I was probably about 14, I don't really remember. It's not like something that just stood out like, my stepdad's not my dad. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, he is my father. He's the one who stepped up when nobody was there for me. But, so, when I did find out, obviously I'm like, who is this other guy that's supposed to be my dad? And where's he at? You know what I mean? My mom didn't give me any information. She was very closed off about it. And, so I just left it alone and kind of just, I would wander on my own. And there'd be times when I got closer to 16 and 17, there'd be times when I would just sit there and I would be literally crying and bawling because I'm like, I think I was born with, as weird as this sounds, with a dad-shaped hole. We're all born with a dad-shaped hole, and if our father's there is no hole. But if he's not, then obviously, you're gonna have that absence. So you're gonna, feel that a little bit. So, I would sit there, and as I was starting to understand more and more what it meant that my biological father left me. And my mom, I think my mom didn't do the best job of, explaining it to me because she was very cold-hearted about it. I'm not saying she was cold-hearted, but she didn't think about it before she told me what kind of the stuff that he had told her. He had told her that to have an abortion with me, and when he came to the court date for my mom for the custody, he literally wouldn't look at me, and all that other kind of stuff. As a 16-year-old girl that's wondering where her dad went and what went wrong and what did she do, hearing that stuff is not going to help. So I love my mom, but that was not what I needed to hear. So she told me that, and quite frankly, that broke me. There was one song that I love to listen to. I'll put a link in the comments. Is Casting Crowns, Just Another Birthday. That was my song. That was a song that I sang, a song that I literally felt to my core, because it was talking about a dad who wasn't there. And but here's the cool story, to stop dwelling on what was. So I had, like I said, I had a few rough years when I was younger. I have been locked up twice in JDC. They were both domestic violences. I'm not a violent person, so the background of that I'm not really going to go in depth to right now. Just know it's past, I learned from it, and I'm all good now. But the second time when I got out of JDC, you know, you're on probation, so you don't get your phone right away. At least my parents didn't give it to me. Well, a few weeks had passed after I'd gotten out, and they gave me my phone, and I don't ever check my Instagram messages. Well, something in me told me to check my Instagram messages, and I saw that I had one message request. So I opened it, and normally, like I said, I won't open the messages, but the name, it was like Mr. something, Penguin something. I opened it, and I was like, why? Like, this is just a weird username. That's the only reason why I opened it. And I went to his bio, and it said Trey Kissel. Beep, beep that out. Like, but that was my biological father's last name. But what's it called? He texted me and he was like, hey. I was like, hey, like, and then he's like, he started to freak out because I responded. And at that point, I was like, maybe this is just a coincidence with the last names, you know, maybe there's no correlation at all. So I was just kind of, you know, testing the waters. I was like, hey. And he started to freak out and was like, hey. And then he's like, do I know you? And then he was like, wait, maybe I don't. And then he just kept, like, going back and forth with himself. Well, I told him, I said, like, I knew where my father lived. And I knew what the area code was. So I told him, I was like, hey, text me on my phone. We can talk more. At this point, we didn't know who each other were. And then as soon as I got the text with the area code, I was like, that's my little brother. Like, oh my God, that day was full of emotions to the max. But needless to say, not only did I tell you guys about my older brother earlier in the video that was 11 and a half years older than me, I have a younger brother. He is 16 now. And then I have an older sister. Actually, I have two older sisters. I'm not quite sure about their age, but don't ever ask a woman her age. That's what'll get you in trouble. So, but the moral of the story is, like, and I met my father. I love my dad. I absolutely love him. My dad made mistakes. We all make mistakes. Yes, that hurt still goes with me, but I also have to know that he still loves me. That, you know what I mean? He saw that I was in a stable, somewhat stable environment from what he could see. So he thought, you know, she's got a stepdad. Why would I want to intrude on her life? And I get that. And I think I've been looking at it from just my standpoint, not just his standpoint. But needless to say, I just want to encourage, like, if you ever, like, I don't ever tell people about, like, other people, like, online. I don't really tell people, you know, I went to JDC twice. Like, I'm known as the girl who is, not known as, but a lot of people looked at me when I actually went to church with my parents and stuff like that. They looked at me as, I'm always smiling, I do nothing wrong, like, I'm innocent. But there was a lot of, what's it called? There's a lot of stuff I've gone through. And, I will forever, what's it called, embrace what I went through, because what I went through made me who I am today. I am one of the strongest people you'll ever meet. I am stubborn. I like to lead other people. I do not like to follow, because, you know, if I lead, I'm in control. But the moral of the thing is just, like, no matter what you go through, and no matter what you think is the end point. There were several times when I thought it was the end point for me. I mean, I have scars to prove it, that I thought it was the end point for me and that I was done. Do not give up, because at the lowest point in my life, I found out and got to meet the greatest blessing in my life, which was my brother and my siblings and my father and my amazing stepmom that I did not mention. She's absolutely amazing and welcomed me so, she just so welcomed me, guys. Like, she is amazing. But I've seen a lot in my life. Like, I've grown up around the drugs and the obsession for money and all this other stuff. I'm from a ghetto, I guess you could say. I've grown up around the dead, like people killing other people, you know what I mean? I've grown up around all that. And when I came out here to Indiana, it's like a whole new mindset for me. Because when I was stuck in Middletown, the only thing that I could think about was staying in that rut. And like, I don't know. I'm kind of like on a rabbit trail right here with this topic. But my thing is that like, I want this YouTube channel to be somewhat, you know, I want it to be fun, obviously, but I also want it to be somewhat, you know, inspiring and telling a little bit of my life story and telling a little bit of other people. So bear with me while I'm trying to find the path for my YouTube channel. But yeah, so just remember, anything's possible. Don't stop hoping, because I remember when I was that 16-year-old girl in my room crying about my dad. I was asking, Dad, why weren't you there? Why weren't you there when I was born? Why weren't you there to take me to ballet, gymnastics, soccer? Here when I was crying at night. Here when I needed somebody and I'd fallen and I'd gotten boo-boos and everything. Where were you then? And I remember that. But guess what? My dad is here now. And that's all that matters. So even in the darkest time of your life, when you think that everything's against you and everything, don't give up hope. Because I'll explain more in the next video, because I don't want to go over. I don't want to wear out my welcome on this video. But on the next video, I'll kind of explain more about my home life that I was dealing with. Because right now, like, you're just hearing, oh, I grew up with my dad and there was a stepdad, so life was perfect for me. And I went to JDC twice. So what the hell was wrong with me? I was the troubled kid. But that's not entirely true. Yes, there was a little bit of rebelling in there, but as well, like I said, I'll tell more in the next video about more about my home life. So, I am here for each and every one of you. Comment down below. I will text you. I will contact you back on social media. I want to be here for any and everybody that I can, physically and mentally, and just, you know, let you know that you are loved. And whatever you're holding on to and whatever you're going through that you think it's rock bottom, it's not. It's really not. A lot of people would miss you. Even if you thought that nobody would miss you, if you were to leave this earth, not on the time that you were supposed to, a lot of people would be hurt. So, like I said, I'm here for each and every one of you. Leave a comment down below. I'm looking forward to reading those. If you need somebody to talk to, I am always here. Go look in my About section on my YouTube channel, and it has my social media accounts to go follow, and you can definitely direct message me there. So, thank you guys. Thanks for listening to my long, boring story. And, yeah. And like I said, tomorrow I will share a little bit more about it, and then probably the video after that, there will be a Q&A with my best friend, Caitlin. So, look forward to that, and drop some questions that you guys want answered. So, bye!